I have a little secret for you about Acorns. Acorns charges you money to invest, but as far as investing goes, pretty much everything you can do with Acorns, you can do somewhere else for free. So then why is this video over 30 minutes long if that's all I need to know about Acorns? Well, it's because I think Acorns, even with its fees, is still worth it for some people, though it's not worth it for others. So what I'm going to do in this video is tell you everything you need to know about the Acorns investing app and tell you my thoughts on who Acorns is good for and who Acorns is bad for. And if by the time you finish this video, you think that Acorns is right for you, I'd really appreciate it. If you use my download link in the description below, you'll get a bonus. If you use my link, I will get a bonus as well, so it's a win-win. Full disclosure, I have deposited $1,000 into my Acorns account, and I will be checking up on it every now and then and giving you an update on my channel on how my Acorns investment performed versus plopping $1,000 on the same day into VOO, the Vanguard 500 Index Fund ETF, which basically just tracks the S&P 500 index. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about ETFs and the S&P 500 index, check out my Investing for Beginners video, link at the top of the screen as well as in the description below. All right, so let's start from the top with Acorns, with downloading the app itself. Downloading Acorns was not a problem for me. One thing that I thought could have been a little bit more transparent upon signing up is the pricing. When I first downloaded the app, before I even set up my account, I got this message that said, "We help you grow your money. Get your financial wellness system. Invest spare change, save for retirement, save and invest when you spend, earn bonus investments, and much more. Just $3 a month." Now, there is actually a $1 a month plan. I'm going to go over all the plans in a bit, but obviously Acorns wants to funnel you into the $3 a month plan here, as you can see on the screen, as well as when you click compare subscription tiers. So I clicked on that, and it basically took me into the $3 a month plan. That's the default. They're really pushing it here. They know that some people will just go with that one because that's the one right there, even though they may only need or be best suited for the $1 a month plan. So let's talk about these plans. If you swipe left from the $3 a month plan, which is called Personal, you will see the $1 a month Lite plan. It says, getting started, invest spare change, set recurring investments, and more with an easy automated investment account. The only option you have with the Lite plan is a taxable investment account, similar to what you could set up at any number of online brokerages for free. But there are some things that makes Acorns unique. I'll get into all that in a bit because the question I'm sure you're asking, and the question I asked myself is, why would I want to pay Acorns $1 a month for something that I could do for free at the other brokerages, for example, those I linked to in the description below, where you can get free stocks
and invest for free, like I said.
I'll get into whether or not Acorns is worth it later in this video, but for now, let's keep moving on through the Acorns plan. Let's go to the $3 a month plan. This plan is the plan that Acorns seems to really want you to use. So with this plan, not only do you get access to a taxable brokerage account like in the Lite plan, but you can also open a retirement account known as an IRA. That is what Acorns calls later here. Later, obviously referring to later in life. That is your retirement. But you can basically open up a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, or a SEP IRA through Acorns with this $3 per month plan. Also with the $3 per month plan, you can open up a checking account in Acorns to keep all your money in one place, investing and banking. I'll talk about the Acorns checking account later in this video, but I just want to get through the plans for right now. All right, so if you swipe right, you will see what you get with the family subscription, which is $5 per month. It's basically everything you get in the $3 a month plan, plus now you can open up an investing account for your kid. Acorns calls this early because you're getting them started with investing early with a UGMA account. I'll talk about my thoughts on the $5 a month plan and this children's account later on in this video. So which plan is right for you? Well, personally, I think that the most unique thing about Acorns, I'll get more in depth on this in a minute. The unique thing about Acorns is the spare change roundup, where if you spend $4.49, say, on your morning coffee with a credit card that you've linked to Acorns, then Acorns will round up that purchase to $5 and invest the 51 cents difference between the cost of your coffee and $5. It will invest that 51 cent difference into your Acorns account, into the stock market. So it's essentially a way to force you to invest every single time you spend money, and you can get that with the $1 a month plan. Now, there is a separate discussion that I'm going to have later in this video of whether or not even this Acorns $1 a month plan is worth it at all. Is Acorns worth it at all, considering its fees compared to the value of your account? But in my opinion, assuming you watch this video until the end with the pros and cons and all that, and you still think that Acorns is a good product for you, I would say that before you jump into the $3 a month plan or the $5 a month plan, try the $1 a month plan. See if Acorns is something that encourages you to invest, makes investing easy for you, makes it fun for you even, and encourages you to keep tabs on your financial picture because frankly, that's what you're paying for, right? You can go to Vanguard or Schwab or Fidelity or Webull, right? And open an investment account for free. Same with the retirement account, same with the bank account. There are online banks these days with no fee checking accounts. But with Acorns, you're paying for the experience of making investing easy and fun, which will hopefully encourage you to invest more than just the spare change roundup. So if it's doing that for you with the $1 a month plan and you love Acorns and it encourages you to invest and you really want several of your financial accounts in one place, maybe consider the more expensive plans. Because look, I'm okay with you paying a few bucks a month or $1 a month if that's what it takes to get you into investing. It's better than the alternative of being bored by investing and not doing it at all. All right, I got a little bit sidetracked there. I'm going to talk more about is Acorns worth it or not later, but those are basically the 3 Acorns plans. One thing to note, I still see some websites saying that Acorns has a free plan for college students. That is currently inaccurate. Acorns used to do that, but not anymore. Even if you're a college student, you will still have to pay. Now, I know I went down some rabbit trails there, and hopefully I'll tie up some loose ends by the end of the video, but let's carry on with setting up an Acorns account. So I go back to the main screen, I click Get Started, I'm prompted to provide my email and a password, no surprises there. Then I link my bank account, and it's super easy, no problems there, very seamless. All right, so now that I've opened my Acorns account, I want to talk about how Acorns invest your money, but first let's go over some of the functionalities we have in Acorns. When you log into Acorns, you'll see your accounts, Invest, which is the taxable brokerage account, Later, which is the retirement account if you got that plan, Spend, which is the bank account, and Early, which is the UGMA account for kids if you got that account. So if I click Invest, then I have 3 options below it in terms of depositing: roundups, one-time, and withdrawal. I'll cover roundups in a minute, but first, the one-time and withdrawal options are basically what you'd expect. If you click one-time, you can make a one-time deposit into your Acorns account that will arrive and be invested in 1 to 3 business days. You can use one of the predetermined amounts of $5, $25, $50, or $100, or you can input a custom amount anywhere from $5 to $9,999. Then, when you have your amount input in Acorns here, you click Invest, and Acorns will initiate the deposit. Back to those 3 options. Withdraw, as it sounds like, simply means withdraw money from your Acorns account to your linked bank account. Withdrawals, it says, can take 3 to 6 business days, and you might be thinking, wait, what? It's only 1 to 3 business days for me to deposit money, but to take money out, it's 3 to 6 business days.
What's up with that?
Well, the explanation is very simple, and it's that when you withdraw money from your Acorns account, what happens is Acorns sells your investment in your account. That transaction will maybe take, 2, possibly 3 days to settle. Then after that transaction is settled, Acorns will initiate the withdrawal of cash into your bank account, which could take 1 to 3 business days in and of itself. So that's why it could take 3 to 6 business days for you to see the cash back in your bank account. All right, I'll talk about how Acorns invest your money in a minute, but first let's talk about the roundups. If you go to the 3 options and click the roundups option, Acorns explains very nicely at the top of the screen how roundups work. It says every time you use a linked card, we round the purchase up to the next whole dollar and invest that spare change into your Acorns Invest account. But a roundup doesn't necessarily happen immediately. You'll see on the screen it says that it's only once your roundups reach at least $5 will Acorns then transfer the roundups from your linked bank account to your Acorns account. Also, Acorns appears to have imported my transactions from my linked bank account, historical transactions, even before I opened the Acorns account. And what Acorns is doing is allowing me to round up those transactions as well retroactively. Now, how do you link more bank accounts or credit cards from the account than the one you use when you set up your account? Well, that's easy. Click the little gear in the top right corner, and under linked accounts, click one linked card, and then at the bottom of the following screen, click link another account. Now, while we're here talking about roundups and in the roundups settings screen, there are a few things I want to mention. The first one is the first option, which is set to automatic. If this is turned on, which appears to be the default, that means that Acorns will automatically round up your spare change and invest it into your Acorns account once your roundup balance reaches $5. If this is off, then you would have to manually go back to the previous screen and select which transactions you would like to round up. Next roundup setting is the multiplier, which multiplies all of your roundups. Name checks out, right? Multiplies all of your roundups by a factor of either 2, 3, or 10, meaning that, to use the example from earlier, if your morning cup of joe costs $4.49 and you put that purchase on a credit card that you've linked to Acorns, then normally without a multiplier, Acorns would round up that purchase to $5 and invest the 51-cent difference between the cost of your coffee and $5. It will invest that 51-cent difference into your Acorns account. However, if you have the multiplier option on and you've selected, say, 2x, then Acorns will not round up a mere 51 cents cents on this transaction and invest it into your Acorns account, it will round up 51 cents times 2, meaning $1.02, and use that as the roundup amount to apply to your account. Likewise, if you have 3x selected as your multiplier, the roundup amount in this case would be $1.53. And if you have a whopping 10x multiplier applied, the roundup would be $5.10. So with these multipliers, your Acorns investments can really add up. All right, now let's talk about the whole dollar roundup feature. What the heck is that? All this is doing is telling Acorns what to do for your transactions that don't end in, X dollars and Y change, but just end in X dollars 0.00. So if you buy a sandwich for lunch and the after-tax cost comes out to an even $8, what do you want Acorns to do? You can set it to add nothing to the transaction to round up, or you can tell Acorns to round up an additional however many cents you want all the way up to $1. So if you have 18 cents here selected, for example, for transactions where your cost ends in 0.00, the price after tax is around dollar amount, Acorns will round up 18 cents as you selected here. All right, so once your roundup settings are to your liking, remember to click Save down at the bottom. Then you can click X in the upper left-hand corner because we've basically covered roundups. Then click X in the upper left-hand corner again. You'll be taken back to the Invest screen. All right, now let's talk about one more way that you can get money into Acorns, and that is through setting up a recurring investment. To do that, you click Recurring, and you can set the amount you want deposited as well as the frequency. Then click Turn On. Easy peasy. All right, now let's talk about how Acorns invests your money. In a nutshell, get it, nutshell? Acorns? In a nutshell, you tell Acorns a little bit about yourself and your investor profile, how much you make, what your investment goal is, when you need access to your Acorns investments, a couple other questions too. And then based on your responses, Acorns chooses to invest your money in one of 5 different portfolios. I'll cover the portfolios more in a bit, but for now, let's talk about your investor profile in Acorns. If you click on the little person icon in the top left, then click on Settings, then click Investor Profile, you'll see a bunch of questions that you can change the answer to. And based on how you answer these questions, Acorns will assign you a portfolio. So for example, if you tell Acorns that you are employed full-time and make between $10,000 and $50,000 a year with a net worth of less than $10,000, that you want some growth potential in your investments, that you have a novice level of financial education, that you will invest some of your cash, and you need access to your money in the next 5 years, then Acorns will assign you the moderate portfolio. Again, I'll talk about these portfolios more in a bit, but I want to run through one more investor profile scenario. On the other hand, if you tell Acorns that you want high growth potential, which obviously comes with more risk, and you don't need to access your Acorns investments for at least another 20 years, Acorns will assign you the moderately aggressive portfolio, which, like it sounds, is a bit more aggressive, higher risk, also potential for higher reward, right, than the moderate portfolio. Now let's talk about the Acorns portfolios. So if you go back to the main Acorns screen and click on Invest, then Portfolio, you'll see the portfolio that Acorns has assigned to you. If you click on one of the other 4 circles, you can see the other portfolios from left to right. The portfolios are conservative, moderate, moderately aggressive, and aggressive. The conservative portfolio is essentially all bonds and is for someone whom Acorns has determined to be incredibly risk averse. This is someone who, for example, chose conservative growth as their investment goal in their investor profile and will need to access their Acorns money in the next 5 years. The bonds in this portfolio are split 60% government bonds and 40% corporate bonds. You can see that at the bottom of the screen where it shows you the various ETFs that this portfolio is invested in. If your allocation is conservative, then 20% of your Acorns money will be invested in each of the bond ETFs with ticker symbols BIL, JPST, ICSH, GBIL, and SHV. I'm not going to go through each one of these in this video because that would make this video longer than it already is. But if you want to learn more about each of these individual ETFs, you can just type the ticker symbol and then ETF into Google, click search. You'll find the information you want. Also, please note that each of these ETFs come with their own expense ratios that is on top of the Acorns fees. If you want to know my personal thoughts on bonds, click the link at the top of your screen as well as in the description below. The next portfolio is moderately conservative. This portfolio is 60% bonds and 40% stocks, with 60% of the stocks in this portfolio invested in large company stocks, specifically in the Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund ETF VOO. If you want to learn more about this particular index fund, check out my Investing for Beginners video. The next portfolio is the moderate portfolio, which is 60% stocks and 40% bonds, with the stock piece split approximately 60% in the Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund ETF VOO QQOO, and 40% in more aggressive stock ETFs for mid-cap, small-cap, and international stocks. The next portfolio is moderately aggressive, which is 80% stocks, 20% bonds, and the aggressive portfolio is all stocks with 55% in the S&P 500, 10% in mid-cap stocks, 5% in small-cap stocks, and 30% in international stocks. Personally, because I'm investing for the longer term, my Acorns portfolio is set to aggressive. Now, if you disagree with the portfolio Acorns assigned to you, you can go to any one of the other portfolios and click Change Portfolio at the bottom, then click Continue Changing Portfolio. Okay, so that is how Acorns invests your money. In terms of the other two kinds of investment accounts, Acorns Later, which is IRAs, and Acorns Early, which is a UGMA, basically an investment account for your kid, I would personally only use these if you become a dedicated Acorns user. You're motivated to use Acorns. It's helping you invest. It gets you excited about you investing, and you simply want the convenience of all these investment accounts in one place. Why do I say this? Well, let's start with Acorns Later and the IRAs. If you want to do Acorns Later, you'll have to upgrade to the $3 a month plan. You get a checking account too. Okay, I'll talk about the checking account in a bit. But frankly, with IRAs, because your time horizon there is so far into the future, because ideally you're not going to tap into your IRA until you're at least age 59 and a half, I'd rather you just open up an IRA at a free brokerage account, invest in a few ETFs or even index funds, make that recurring investment every year, and call it a night for the next few decades, right? And you can do that for free at so many brokerages without having to pay $3 a month. And with Acorns Early, which lets you open up a UGMA for your kid, but you have to upgrade to the $5 a month plan to do that, here's the deal with that. You're probably not going to be putting a whole lot into your kid's investment account, right? Especially considering that if your main objective is saving for college, a 529 plan might be better tax-wise. I did a whole video on 529 plans. You can check out that link at the top of the screen as well as in the description below. So paying $60 a year for access to an account that you could open up somewhere else for free, and you probably won't be putting much money in anyway, doesn't sound all that great to me. So like I said previously, if when you're done watching this Acorns review and you download Acorns on the $1 a month plan, right, and you love it, you absolutely love Acorns, it's helping you to invest, look, maybe if you want all your accounts in one place, including your IRA, it might be worth it to you for convenience's sake to get the $3 a month plan. But I wouldn't get it just for the sake of opening an IRA without using any of the other Acorns features. All right, now let's talk about Acorns Spend, which is their checking account. Yes, this is a legit checking account, FDI insured up to $250,000, so no funny business going on there. The account has no minimum balance or overdraft fees, and this is great compared to most big brick and mortar banks, which will often charge you a monthly fee of $10 or $15 or something ridiculous like that if you don't maintain a certain balance throughout the month, say, $1,000 or $1,500. So if you don't keep a lot of money in your bank account, Acorns, even with the $3 fee, might be worth it compared to some big brick and mortar banks. However, no minimum balance, no overdraft fees. That's great compared to the big banks, but it's kind of par for the course with most online banks, which is what Acorns Spend is, so keep that in mind. Now let's talk about ATMs. Acorns Spend also offers access to over 55,000 fee-free ATMs globally. Which ATMs are these? Well, if you read the fine print at the bottom, it says that Acorns does not charge ATM fees for cash withdrawals from ATMs within the Allpoint network. So I checked out the Allpoint network website. They say that 1 out of every 12 ATMs in the United States participates, and they also have a map on their homepage where you can find your city and look for Allpoint network ATMs near you. I looked in the Los Angeles area. There are a ton, but if you are considering Acorns Spend, check this map and make sure that there is an Allpoint network ATM near you where you can use your Acorns Spend debit card for free, because otherwise you might be charged a fee for using the out-of-network ATM by the third-party ATM operator. Know that this policy has changed over the past year or so. Acorns Spend used to offer unlimited free or fee reimbursed ATMs nationwide, but now for new users, they've changed that policy, and the only way you can be sure you won't be charged a fee when using your Acorns Spend debit card as an ATM is to make sure it's in the Allpoint network. So again, Acorns Spend is a decent online bank. A theme here of this Acorns review, of course, is that Acorns is charging you a relatively small amount of money to make it slightly more convenient and or fun to do investing and banking through them when you could very well do it for free somewhere else. You're paying for convenience and for the experience. So is it worth it? We'll have a discussion about that at the end of this video. Next, I want to talk about the Earn Money feature of Acorns, and this is actually pretty cool and can offset some, if not all, of your Acorns fees. What Earn Money is essentially you making purchases through Acorns at a variety of sites and getting cash back to your Acorns account when you make the purchase. Which stores offer this earn money feature? Well, on your Acorns home screen, click on Earn More Money, and you'll see the current offers. You can see the featured ones as well as some in certain categories. If you scroll to all the way to the bottom and click All Offers, you will, well, see all the offers that you can earn cash back at by making a purchase through Acorns. So for example, if I click Macy's, which is one of the offers, it says I'll get 7% of my purchase back as cash back in my Acorns investment account. All you have to do is click the Shop Now button, make sure you complete your transaction in the same session, and that's it. So yes, this could mitigate or even offset your Acorns fees entirely, especially if you're just using the $1 per month plan. However, there are a couple things to keep in mind here. First, you may be able to get more cash back at other sites. For example, right now the Kohl's offer on Acorns Earn Money is 1.5%, but on Rakuten, which is another cash back site, by the way, and if you haven't signed up for Rakuten, use a link in my description below. You get a bonus when you make your first purchase. But anyway, on Rakuten right now, you can get 2% cash back at Kohl's. Obviously, this isn't a huge difference, but I thought it's worth mentioning. Also, next thing to keep in mind here, you would never want to justify spending money at one of these stores in the Acorns Earn Money section just because you're going to get some money back into your Acorns account. And that's kind of the trap, right, for cash back sites and even more broadly speaking, coupons in general, right? So keep that in mind. The whole purpose of cash back and coupons is to give you literally a few cents or a few dollars back to encourage you to spend like $100, right? So got to be smart about that. Also, speaking of cash back, I got to pitch my favorite credit card, Citi Double Cash, 2% back on all purchases with no annual fee. If you want to check that out, I'd really appreciate it if you clicked the link in the description. All right, so that is Acorns Earn Money. Just a couple other things I want to talk about, and then I'll get into the conclusion of whether or not Acorns is worth it, in my opinion. Next thing I want to mention is the referral program. Yes, Acorns has a referral program. They change the terms periodically. I think the basic bonus for when someone signs up with your Acorns link is a $5 bonus for them as well as a $5 bonus for you. However, I've seen it where Acorns boost the bonus for a period of time. For example, right now as I'm recording this, I don't know if this will still be active by the time you watch this, but right now the Acorns referral bonus is $35 when you invite someone. So obviously, if you're on the $1 a month Acorn subscription, successfully referring one person and earning a $35 bonus for it could cover your Acorn subscription for almost the next 3 years, right? So the referral program is pretty cool. To get your referral link that you can share with your friends, just scroll to the very bottom of your Acorns home screen and click Invite Friends, and you can copy and paste the referral link and message there. Just briefly here, another thing to know is that Acorns actually sells life insurance. Yes, if on the home screen you click Protect What You Love, you'll be taken to a form fill to get a life insurance quote. Looking at the terms and conditions here, it says that the insurance company business is called Acorns Insurance Services, LLC. It maintains insurance producer licenses in 40 states as well as Washington, D.C. Personally, I did not complete this funnel. My wife and I, we already have life insurance. We're happy with our life insurance. Also, I imagine that most of you who got Acorns or interested in Acorns are not interested in it for the life insurance. So I'm not going to focus on this. Just know that what Acorns is doing when you click Protect What You Love on the home screen is taking you to a funnel, the goal of which is to get you to buy life insurance. Now, I do have a link in the description below to get life insurance quotes from major providers such as Mutual of Omaha, AIG, Prudential, and more, if you're interested in getting some life insurance for yourself. Acorns also has an educational library. You can access this when you click Grow Your Knowledge from the home screen. I've actually found the articles to be pretty good. They're not necessarily super in-depth, but pretty good for basic expectations. All right, finally, bottom line, is Acorns worth it? So Acorns offers a pretty cool, dare I say, fun way to start investing for as little as $1 per month. Where things get a little dicey is if you're only investing your roundups, because think about it. If you're only investing your roundups, how much money is realistically going to end up in your Acorns account on a monthly basis? It's not even really based on how much you spend, but how often you spend, how many transactions you have on your linked card in a given month. So think to yourself, how many times do you bust out your plastic on a given day? Maybe an average of 2, so maybe roughly 60 times per month. Let's say your average roundup is 50 cents. Well, 50 cents times 60 transactions per month is about $30 invested per month, or $360 per year. But your annual Acorns fee would be $12 per year. 12 divided by 360 is 3 1/3%. So under this fact pattern, over 3% of your principal would be going to Acorns. And keep in mind that this Acorns fee is in addition to the expense ratios of the underlying ETFs that your money is invested in. I've seen other creators kind of compare the Acorns fee to the expense ratio of a Vanguard ETF. False, no, that's not how this works. The Acorns fee is in addition to that expense ratio, so please keep that in mind as well. So while Acorns is a great way to start investing, I wouldn't use it only for the roundup feature alone, because the dollar amounts of the roundups are just too small to justify the fee. And because investing 50 cents or $1 a day, even with no fee, while it's a great start, it really shouldn't be your entire investment strategy. So the value I see in Acorns is that it can help you get interested in investing, get you started investing such that you say increase your roundups using the multiplier I showed you earlier, or you just start making lump sum contributions in addition to those roundups, or you start automating your investing with regular recurring contributions. And if Acorns can help you do that, wonderful, great, fabulous. That is worth $1 a month, right? If Acorns can take you from not investing and not going to invest because you think it's complicated and scary, even though it's not, to getting you started investing with an attractive, user-friendly, kind of fun app, you getting started investing will literally be worth thousands, if not millions of dollars to you over your lifetime. So is that $1 a month worth it? Yeah. A lot of people get caught up on the dollar fee, right? Because they put together spreadsheets, right? Like the one I showed you, and it's like, oh my gosh, so much of your balance is going to Acorns. And it's true if you're not investing a lot, right? $1 a month is going to eat into your returns if you don't have a high balance. But in my estimation, that's kind of missing the point. The whole goal of Acorns, right? And they have all this educational content as well, is to take you from rounding up your coffee purchase so you invest 50 cents a day in the market, taking you from there to getting you more interested in investing so you'll someday invest $5 a day or $50 a day or heck, $500 a day. And if Acorns can whet your appetite for this world of investing, I fully support it if it will get you excited about investing. So who's Acorns good for? It's good for somebody with little to no investing experience and just wants to get started in an easy, convenient, and even somewhat fun way. That said, apart from the roundup features, Acorns isn't really doing anything for you that you couldn't do on your own at a traditional brokerage like Vanguard or Schwab or Fidelity. Now, Vanguard might be tough for some people because a lot of their funds have minimums and their ETFs can start at a few $100. But Fidelity, they have literally no fee index funds that you can get into for no minimum, and they won't charge you a $1 a month or $3 a month or $5 a month fee. So please keep that in mind. So Acorns is probably bad for those of you who are already excited about investing. You want to learn about investing and brokerage accounts and ETFs and minimizing fees as much as possible. If that sounds like you, if that's your investor profile, Acorns probably isn't a good solution for you. But look, if you're somebody who knows they need to invest but doesn't really want to learn a whole lot about it, and you probably wouldn't be investing anyway if it wasn't super simple in an app, I'd rather you get a slightly diminished return with Acorns, right? And keep in mind the diminishing factor decreases the more you invest. I'd rather you get that with Acorns than get no return whatsoever because you never start investing in the first place. Acorns makes investing easy and somewhat fun, so in that sense, I can get behind it. But if you're someone who wants to invest the time in learning about all this stuff, right? The brokerage accounts, investing, index funds, and ETFs, you'd probably be better off at a discount online brokerage. And if you do feel that Acorns is right for you, after watching this video, I would really appreciate it if you sign up using my link in the description below. You will get a bonus, and I will get a bonus. All right, everybody, that is my review of Acorns. Please leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to give this video a big old like, a big old thumbs up, because it really, really helps with the YouTube algorithm, folks. Like, you don't even know how much it helps. It really helps. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.